her train through a red light.
If I caused a delay, well, it's better than killing people.
And it's crunch time for trainee driver Joe.
I feel like lamb to the slaughter.
At the beginning of last year, London Underground ran an ad campaign in Cosmopolitan magazine in a bid to attract more women drivers. 6,500 women applied, 116 got jobs. Jo Drummond is one of them.
I've got about 2 weeks left. I've got my road test, which is very similar to a sort of car test, on the 12th of August. It's like any test, you're really nervous, aren't you? And you can sort of like naff up on the day, but hopefully, fingers crossed, I won't naff up on the day and then I can get rid of them annoying IOs that keep coming in the cab with me and drive the train on my own.
For the last 5 months, Jo has been learning to drive a 160-ton Northern Line train. If she passes her test, she'll be left in charge of a train of up to 1,000 passengers.
What,
tall
we're
you?
53, yeah, it is 53.
53, yeah, that's
It is
it.
53.
Today, Jo's having one of her final lessons before her test, and she's being taken out by operator instructor Dan East. He's helping her brush up on any last-minute faults. On test day, Jo will have to drive a full 8-hour shift, plus breaks. But today, she's just doing the run from Golders Green to Kennington. Smooth braking is one of the more difficult techniques to master.
Right then, my dear, we're coming into Leicester Square now. Don't forget it's quite a bendy, short platform, so get on the brakes reasonably early again, that's it. Right, start breaking it down a little bit, that's it. The bend will scrub your speed off anyway, so.
How smooth is that then?
That's pretty good. The only tiniest area we really need to brush up on a bit is the actual location of certain speed limits on the line, which Jo's definitely sussing out now, but it's been a long time, and it takes a long time to learn them all.
You tend to, you know, forget, and then they just jump out at you. Before you know it, you've got to be doing 15 or something.
Speed limit?
Normal line speed limit or...
No. Speed limit for it? You're nearly doing it now.
25.
Yeah.
Once I get a bit of experience with the line, I'll know when to slow down and where certain signals are and what signals to sort of watch out for and but it'll come with experience.
The Northern Line has got 6 different speed limits and more than 1,200 signals. Jo's covered most areas of training needed for her test, but she's never made a PA announcement, and she may have to on exam day.
Do a bit of PA training here if you want to do a bit of minor doors when you're ready to go, yeah? Try and be polite, though.
Right. I used to get the train to do that. I used to use the broadcast. I've never once made a PA.
Part of the job, girl, I'm afraid.
I know, yeah, but it's on the thing. As long as I use the broadcast when it's busy, then I'm covering myself.
Yeah, but what if it's broken?
Well, if it's broken, then fair enough, but is it broken?
All you have to do is pick up and say minor doors. There's so much to take in and learn because people just think you see a red or a green light and you're pushing a little red handle and opening doors and that's all your job is, but it's far from it. Jo's had to learn a hell of a lot even before she actually touched the controls of the train.
Jo spent 10 weeks in the classroom and the train depot familiarising herself with Northern Line stock and how to drive it before she was allowed onto the line under supervision.
Right then, Jo, we're coming up to Kennington. Just tell them we're terminating at Kennington. Take all your belongings with you. Next train south at home platform.
Just to remind you that this train does in fact terminate at the next station, which is Kennington. Please make sure that you take all your belongings with you when you leave the train. Once again, this train terminates here in Kennington. Thank you.
Bravo. That's all right. What's the matter with that? Stop.
Mind the gap.
I think, well, day by day she's improving quite immensely actually. She's doing very well.
Jo's had a good lesson, but will she remember it all on test day?
Take it up a bit here.
I'll probably see you around it.
All right.
Yeah?
Be good.
Will do.
And for once, remember everything I taught you.
She's not a lot, so that shouldn't be hard to remember.
Oi. Easy, Tiger.
Love you loads. Bye-bye.
Ta-ta.
Another Joe, Joe Brown, manages the train operators on the district line. It's one of the busiest lines on the network, carrying over 180 million passengers a year. Today, Joe suspects one of his female drivers has been involved in a signal incident.
There's no service between here and Edgware Road due to signal failure at High Street, Kensington.
Well, I've just heard that we've got signalling problems up at High Street, Kensington. I'm not 100% sure as to what the causes behind it are. I mean, what I do know is it's going to cause hold-ups to the customers. At present, I've got a feeling it's a driver error, but I need to have that confirmed by speaking to the line controller.
You get the circle line round, but there are delays on that as well. No, that's the best.
Because they were saying signal failure over the PA at the station, which was a half-truth. Driver failure. I've just established that it was a signal past the danger, past the red up at High Street, Kensington. The driver's waiting for me up in the canteen, so I need to set the wheels in motion and go through the process with her ASAP.
Miranda Sadgrove passed her test 2 years ago, and she's been driving district line trains ever since. This is the second time she's passed a signal at danger.
The points when I was just looking, shut the doors, went.
Where's your High Street West?
Yeah. So you're out of the way and you managed to cause all that grief, so it was a bit of a nightmare. Usually the points change and the signal goes green and you can pull out. The points changed. I was looking at the platform mirrors and monitors, so I didn't really check the signal. Shut the doors, pulled out, and passed the signal and it was showing a red aspect. It's part of the job. It literally is part of the job. I used to be a bus driver. If you hit cars, that's part of the job. It's another downfall of the job. Every job has a positive and a negative side. Positive in this job is the salary. Negative is now and again. You have problems.
A signal passed at danger, or SPAD as it's known, occurs when a train accidentally passes a red signal. Unlike the main line, London Underground have automatic train protection, which means that a train will be automatically forced to stop if it passes a red signal. Each SPAD is taken seriously, and Joe has to investigate the reasons behind Miranda's incident.
We'll just do a quick fact-finding, find out what she perceives as being the reasons behind her passing a signal at danger. And you know, we need to devise an action plan for her so that hopefully it won't happen in the future.
Oh, that was all right. Sorry, Joe, I've been a bit of a twat this morning.
No, it's fine. No, I mean, just trying to establish
I was just see stop the lights.
Is precisely. Okay, so.
Sorry.
So what is it? It was the points right in front of you.
Yeah, the points right in front of me changed. I heard the looked.
Right.
And then I didn't really. I was just went into autopilot. Shut the doors, checked the mirrors, and went.
As you just said, it wasn't a case of you going, I'm just going to wind up against a red signal because I feel like it. It was a case of the points through and you assumed that that also meant the signal had gone green.
I was just in little planet Miranda.
After 20 long weeks of hard slog, it's crunch time. Today, Jo will find out if she'll join the ranks of the 185 Northern Line train drivers based at Golders Green.
At the moment, I'm feeling very nervous about today because it's my test. And I'm a bit all over the place. I'd probably lose my head if it wasn't screwed on today, to be quite honest.
Yesterday, Jo sat her written test on railway regulations. She passed. Now she has to pass her practical.
I feel like a lamb to the slaughter.
Oh, Joe.
Thank you. Quick, give me an head start. What train am I taking at?
I ain't got a clue, mate. What you
send your own?
Can you give us a piece of that paper?
Jo's examiner today is Jerome Doyle.
There's a briefing, then basically she gets on the train, drives the train and is assessed on all aspects of it, taking the train into service, platform train interface issues, dealing with customers, handing over the train to another driver, stabling the train, basically everything a driver will do.
I'm nervous, leave me alone. I can't eat or drink, I feel really sick. No, I feel sick.
First, Jerome has to establish that Jo feels fit and happy to take the test. She's had time off for ill health, so there have been gaps in her training.
I'm going. I'm wanted in the back. Got me orders.
Are you happy enough to actually do the road test?
Yeah.
You're okay?
Yeah.
You know, bearing in mind, you know, you just had the bare
I'm alright with my driving, I'm just a bit nervous with depots and that.
Okay. Run with that.
Obviously if I pass, it's a big boost, because it means that I'm going to be earning loads of money every month, and also because it's something I wanted to do and I've worked so hard at it and I've had quite a lot of setbacks, and that it'll be good to get through it.
She's got to take a train out and drive it properly with hundreds upon hundreds of people on it. It's not something you just stroll in and take up lightly. You've got to make sure everything's right.
The test involves 2 4-hour blocks of driving, the first in daylight, the second from dusk to dark, to test her in various conditions. First of all, she'll be taking a train out of the depot.
That's a good start, wasn't it, eh? Dropping me key, like.
We don't ask any questions while she's actually driving, but she's being assessed on all aspects of her driving. So, more complicated, it's more in depth. She's got to cover the majority of the line. There's a lot of pressure on them, because ultimately, if they don't pass this, they don't drive a train in service on their own tomorrow. They don't have a licence.
If Jo doesn't pass today, she'll be sent back out with instructors until she's ready to have another go. But before she finds out, she's got a lot of driving to do. 36 miles on the Northern Line. London Underground have been recruiting more female drivers, and Jo Drummond has just completed her driving test on a Northern Line train. Now she's got to wait to find out whether she's passed. She could be failed for a number of different reasons. Too much hesitation, taking too long to do platform duties. Or she could be failed for a signal passed at danger.
When did they tell you? When did he tell you that you'd passed?
I can't remember. It wasn't too long after the finish.
Was it when you went in for feedback and that, or was it as soon as you got off the train?
I think it was when we got back to the office, but it didn't take too long.
Just make me feel better, wouldn't you?
How did it go?
All right, yeah, not bad. I don't know though. I'm not gonna say anything in case I curse myself. I'll wait until he says you passed or you didn't pass.
Satisfies requirements.
Oh really? Oh God.
Okay.
You keep me waiting so long.
Well, there's things we need to talk about.
Okay.
You're not, super driver yet.
Yeah.
You're a little bit nervy. Only to be expected. Okay. But what I saw was good. Okay. So outside with a bit of time under your belt, you'll be fine. That's you done.
Okay.
Welcome to Golders Green.
Yep.
You're a driver now.
Yep.
Just spent 5 months getting your job. Look after it. Yeah? You know all the pitfalls, you know what can go wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got no problem with it, but...
You made it?
Yeah. Just about by the skin of my teeth.
Are you here?
I am here.
Lovely.
I am here. When I found out you was here, I just knew I had to come here.
You have to pass.
Hello? I passed. He's singing. My brother's singing to me on the phone. Alright, bye.
Jo's qualified, but she's still got one major hurdle left. Her first day out on her own with a train full of passengers. Train operators with less than 12 months on the job are twice as likely to be involved in a SPAD than those with more experience. Jo Brown wants to make sure that Miranda doesn't have another SPAD.
Yeah, all drivers that have had a signal pass at danger must watch this video and basically sign to say that they've seen it. A lot of the operators have now seen it half a dozen times at least.
So that's pretty much what I did.
Check the signal before moving
Unfortunately.
off, even though they may have given you the right of way.
Well, I've got to take you out to High Street Kensington just to make sure you understand totally all the factors that led up to your signal pass at danger.
Although there was little immediate danger from Miranda's SPAD, it did cause delays on the district line and a train jam at High Street Kensington.
Miranda heard the points throw, checked the mirror behind me, obviously to make sure it was safe to shut the train doors, and then just left the platform. The signal was still red, the train stopped, the little white lever down there was still raised. As Miranda's train passed over it, the little lever on the front of the train called the trip cock hit the little lever called the train stop, and the train stopped.
It makes all the air escape from the brakes and brings on the emergency brakes.
So basically, if a train ever does pass us...
I stopped level with the train there in platform 3, so it doesn't get very far.
I mean, if a train does pass a signal at danger, the emergency brake will apply straight away. And that's essentially what happened. She made it a very short distance out of the platform because obviously she hadn't got up much speed by the time she got tripped. If you pass a signal in a complicated area like this with a lot of points, it locks up everything, so nothing can move at all. So the effects on the service was we had a district in platform 1 that couldn't move, probably a circle out near Gloucester Road that couldn't move, and nothing could move until your train was set back into the platform by the supervisor. So obviously, it's not just held up your train by 10 minutes, but probably 2 or 3 trains in total.
Everyone makes mistakes, we're not robots. And if I caused a delay, well, it's better than killing people.
Well, be suitably advised, if you hear those points throw, it doesn't necessarily mean that signal's cleared.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Not only had the points thrown, train stops dropped, and the signal's gone green. You won't do that again, will you, Miranda?
2 days ago, Jo Drummond passed her driving test. Today, she'll be allowed to drive a train on her own.
She's had her road test the other day, so she'll now be coming into what we call her sweat day. It's a historic term that we've used. Basically, it's your first day out driving on your own, and there's a tendency to sweat. Although I believe ladies perspire, so maybe it should be a perspiration day. Right, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to sort you out a train. A train! We'll have a look, see what we can find. There's a nice little train out here waiting for you.
Nervous. Toilet requirement nervous.
Jo's hoping she won't be given a long run, like Morden via the bank, with its 17 miles of tunnels.
I don't know what they're going to give me though. What tune they're going to give me. I hope it's nothing long. Let's go next time. Out of sight, out of mind.
Joe, you're now qualified, I understand.
Yeah.
Good. Welcome to hell. Oh, yeah. Do you mind saying that? Yeah. It's way back, not until 1849. That's it.
So,
Okay, 10 minutes to go. The skies have opened again.
Just to make things tougher, it started to rain.
Nice rain, nice slippery rails. Nice total misjudgment of braking capacity. Ice skating. Stop! Hello, Brent Cross. Go and misjudge the braking.
get nervous. Yeah, she's twitching and everything.
Hey, shut up, yeah. I've just been informed that Ken's going to be riding in the carriage behind. You know what I mean? So it's a sweat day being assist.
Next one in.
Are you getting nervous pacing up and down as well now?
Yeah.
Alright.
It is indeed.
We can get rid of the L plates off the front.
To add to the pressure, Joe's train manager, Ken Gibbard, is hitching a ride home on her train.
This train is about to depart. Please mind the doors.
Control calling train 7, number 7.
Pulling off was okay, away from the station. She obviously checked the signal. They're giving you a nice smooth ride. You can complete the crossword or whatever it is you're writing. If they're not, your pen's all over the place. It's an old acid test. Nice smooth stop. The finer style, if you like, will come with experience. There's nothing wrong with that at the moment, though. Nothing wrong at all. If Jo drives like that again for the rest of her career as a train operator, I don't think we'll have too many problems.
Next time, London Underground is gripped by a heatwave.
Option, get the ambulance, please.
And at Victoria, Simon is at the end of his tether.
I think he wants to be famous for the area and he can't stand it.